think Hudson must have not gotten the memo on naming conventions. You can't call this game Super Momotaro Dentetsu after the Super Famicom has been released. That's just going to confuse people. The original Momotaro Dentetsu, not to be confused with Momotaro Densetsu, was released on the Famicom back in 1988. But Hudson wasn't really getting along with Nintendo at that point, and the series jumped over to the PC Engine with Super Momotaro Dentetsu. And then they released Super Momotaro Dentetsu 2, plus a Game Boy version, before finally porting the 3-year-old version back to the Famicom. The Momotaro Dentetsu series are Sugorok-based games. It's a kind of roll-and-move board game, where on every turn a player moves a random number of spaces on a board, and then a random thing happens. There's a lot of variations on these, but it's what someone in Japan was most likely to think of if you mentioned a board game to them. The Momotaro of the title is a character from Japanese folklore. He was a brave boy found in a peach who fought an island of ogres with the help of some animal friends. And the whole title of the game is a bit of a pun, or maybe a typo, since Hudson made the RPG Momotaro Densetsu, or Momotaro's Legend, and changed one character to make it Momotaro Dentetsu, or Momotaro's Electric Railroad. When you begin the game, you first have to choose how many players will be involved, that's 1 through 4, and then you have to choose how many cities you'll race towards. The default here is 5, which, based on how I played, would be about a 2-hour game. You also have to pick a save slot. The game has 5 battery saves, and it automatically saves your progress. Then once you get onto the board itself, everyone begins in Tokyo, and you're given a random destination in Japan. These act as the checkpoints for the game, and if you're the first train to reach that city, then you get a big cash prize. After someone reaches that city, then a new random destination is chosen, and everyone's off to that one. When you reach the city limit, then the game is over. And at that point, whoever has the most assets wins the game. You start out with a small amount of cash, and your real goal is to just accumulate as much as you can. Sometimes that's just by landing on the correct space, sometimes it's by getting to the destination city first, and sometimes it's because you've been buying up property. At the start of your turn, you can roll the die, play a card, or view information like your status or the map. Rolling the die will send you 1 to 6 spaces, and of course you can choose what direction to go at any fork. Landing on a plus sign will get you a bit of cash, landing on a minus sign will lose you a bit of cash. C's will give you a random card, stars will give you an opportunity to buy and sell cards at a store. Landing on a station or a city will give you the opportunity to purchase property there, and properties give you some income every turn. There are a lot of different cards that do a lot of different things here. They could let you throw 3 dice and move that many spaces, get you a discount when buying property, or bring every single player on the map to your square, regardless of how far away they are, and then make them give you some money for the privilege. Sometimes there are random events that occur after you've completed your move. They might just give you some money, or they might quiz you. Between the dice rolls and the cards, luck is really dominant here. Yes, it is possible to make some bad choices, but there's only so far that skillful play can take you here, and really the outcome of the game is effectively random. In my game, for example, the second destination was a city at the northern end of Hokkaido, basically the far end of the map. Since the other players had a head start on me, I just stayed back accumulating things while they raced over there. Then it was pretty much guaranteed that I'd be a lot closer to whatever city came up next. Of course, they were also accumulating cards and cash as they traveled up to Hokkaido. So it's not like I was really getting an advantage there, just a possibility that I might be able to reach a city before they could. And that's really all there is to playing the game. Roll, move, get the result, repeat. Super Momotaro Dentetsu is actually relatively popular in Japan. Okay, not this version so much, but the other versions are well liked. And while this is the final Momotaro Dentetsu game on the Famicom, the series becomes a yearly franchise for Hudson. In fact, before 1992 was out, they'll have the first Super Famicom game in the series. Over the course of Famidaily, I think I've made it pretty clear that I don't like this kind of game. If I'm going to play a game, I want the results to be something other than random. So Super Momotaro Dentetsu is not a game for me. And if it was, I'd probably play the PC Engine version instead.